Carter is solving this equation by factoring. 6x squared minus 14x plus 8 equals 0. Okay, which expression could be one of his correct factors? In other words, if we were to factor this, what is one of the factors? And you have four choices here, all right? Now the first thing we see, these are all even numbers, okay? So if I factor a 2 out of here, 2 times 3x squared, okay? 2 times 7x, okay? And 2 times 4 is 8, okay? All right, now if we factor a 2 out then, factor the 2 out, we're left just with the 3x squared, the minus 7x, the plus 4 equals 0. In other words, let's look at this. 2 times 3x squared is what? You see your original 6x squared there? 2 times a minus 7x is what? Negative 14x. And 2 times 4 is 8, isn't it? Okay? So if you distribute the 2 onto each term in here, we come up with my original polynomial up here, okay? Now if I divide this side by 2 and divide 0 by 2, then you end up with the terms that are just inside the parentheses. And that 0 divided by 2 is what? 0. See how the 2's cancel here, leaving you 1? 1 times this parentheses is this parentheses. So now I have to factor this. Okay? If we factor this part, and we'll come back and let it be equal to 0 in a minute, but just factor this. We want to copy down the 3 twice. That's called no-fuss factoring. Okay? And then I want to have the 2 terms. When you multiply them, you get 3 times 4. When you multiply your terms, you get 12. And when you add your terms, you get the negative 7 here, that number. Okay? So what are my factors of 12 that add up to be minus 7? Well, 1 times 12 is 12, but you don't get negative 7. Okay? 2 times 6 is 12, but you add them, you get negative 8. And 3 times 4 is 12, and negative 3 and negative 4 is a negative 7. So these are the two factors that multiply to give you 12, and when you add them, you get minus 7. So we have our minus 4 and minus 3, okay? Put the negative 4 here, put the negative 3 here, okay? Okay, now I want to factor out this. Let's copy it down for a second. What do we have in common here with these two? What do we have in common? A 3, okay? Notice you're getting a 3 out here. Now let's back up just a little bit here. I want to show you one more thing about this. When I copied these down right here, okay, copy down the 3 twice. What is 3 times 3? When you multiply the first terms, you do not get 3, do you? But we go ahead and copy them anyway. But when you think 3 times 3 is not 3, so somewhere I'm going to have to throw away a 3, aren't I? Since 3 times 3 is 9, and I want to end up with a 3, I have to throw away one of these 3's down the road, okay? And that's about what we're going to do right now. Now, going back through this thing, put your negative 3 and your negative 4 here, okay? You see how you have that 3 in common here? Wasn't that the number we were looking to throw away? Here, let's copy this down and just think for a minute. 3 times what is x? 3 times x is 3x. 3 times x is 3x. And 3 times a negative 1 is a negative 3. So I kind of said that wrong. 3 times what is 3x, x, right? And 3 times 1 is 3, all right? Now, we're going to do what? We're going to throw away that extra 3. Since I had 3 times 3 is not 3, I have to throw away the extra 3. So here are my two factors, okay? There are my two factors. So we say this equals 0. So these, when you multiply them, equals 0, okay? Now either x minus 1 is 0 or 3x minus 4 is 0. If x minus 1 is 0, we can add 1 to both sides of the equation and get x equals 1. If 3x minus 4 is 0, we can add 4 to both sides of the equation. We get 3x equals 4. And when I have two terms, that's when I divide by the coefficient of the variable 3. I'll divide this by 3 and this by 3. So you have 3x divided by 3 and 4 divided by 3. The 3's here cancel, leaving you x equals 4/3. So now I've solved this equation. Okay, I have solved the equation. What two factors did I use to solve this equation? These two. Okay, so which one of these two is on my list over here? I got 3x minus 4. I have 3x minus 4. I have x minus 1. X minus 1's not on my list. So I'm going to have to pick this one. Out of the four answers, I pick answer D.